they just wait for the late game, play the side lanes, but obviously has its drawbacks as well.
Yeah, and of course, Cassiopeia, one of those champions that doesn't necessarily win lane, seems to suit Sencux just a little bit.
Yeah, Sencux has always been a guy who likes to do that split push style, and that has been a lot of what Splyce has relied on, the 1-3-1, and a couple of big ticket junglers now being taken off the page with the Elise, with the Nidalee. Excited to see where these teams are going to go. You know, you do have some strategies where you're going to try to super pinch the jungle champion pool and only leave one priority jungler up for RNG, so we'll see if that's something that they're going to want to try to do.
But now the pressure is turned back onto Splyce. They banned the Rek'Sai as well because they don't want the jungle matchup to go over to RNG by picking up that Rek'Sai first. We haven't seen Trashy delve too deep outside of the Rek'Sai, the Gragas on previous patches, which is no longer available. So now RNG, will they continue to pinch a jungle pool here? I don't think so for themselves.
No, it's not going to be. It's going to be a nod over to Kobbe, it looks like, with that Jhin. But we still have Olaf, we still have Lee Sin, both up.
We got a lot of different things, but that Syndra has seen such high priority. Intelligent ban coming out of Splyce might mean that RNG have the opportunity to take away the mlxg. Doesn't want to let anyone take his Lee Sin from him this time.
And this Lee Sin is pretty much the last remaining early impact jungler that is available for these teams. Taking that away, now it defaults to the likes of a Gragas. We've seen a little bit of Zac. The Olaf is also early focus as well and does provide damage, but honestly, it's not the type of champion Trashy has succeeded on in the last split for Splyce. So I wonder if they do move away from a supportive style, how that'll fare.
Yeah, we have seen Zac as well, so that is something that you can look at, but no pressure for Splyce to pick up their jungler just yet, and they're going to see a little bit more of what RNG wants to do with their draft first.
Yeah, so it is going to be the Karma and the Cassiopeia locked in. I do like picking away the Karma. I mean, the Sivir Karma enabling Uzi to have all of that extra movement speed on top of the On the Hunt is a good idea. There are still a lot of power picks. xiohu thinking about the Jace, which has been in his wheelhouse in the past.
There's been a long-running joke about
Let's not talk about...
Cassiopeia.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
In Splyce's case in Europe, that Wunder did previously play a long time back. So there's the very small outside potential. This is a double flex, but it's more likely to be Sencux with it in the middle lane, with the Karma down in the bottom lane. For RNG, though, they've got a lot of options available. Obviously, their jungle is locked in. This Nami, high priority Azael, you've talked about it already, how this Nami has rose to power. We haven't seen too much of it today, though.
And a lot of why Nami has actually come into the meta is to deal with Karma in lane. It's a very strong champion in that straight up 2v2 lane matchup. You have the sustain to deal with that poke, and you also have a fair amount of poke yourself as well as disengage. So definitely drafting a pretty strong lineup here so far. Viktor coming in hasn't been super high priority, but for people who are comfortable on it, such as Crown, the champion still shines.
Yeah, and xiohu is definitely one of those players as well. So more than happy to sit back. We'll actually have the range against the Cassiopeia to at least take down those minions.
Yeah, should do. And then obviously as we transition into some of the skirmishes that RNG love to get themselves into, a lot of damage can come out from that Viktor. We saw over 1,000 damage per minute come out yesterday from Samsung when they were playing the Viktor. For Splyce, they're taking it a little bit slower, and it is a change-up from Trashy. We haven't seen this all that much from him, but going for more damage out of the jungle on that Olaf.
Yeah, and a lot of power in these two picks as well, as the Gnar is going to be picked up alongside him. So Trashy will see whether he can head into the enemy jungle a little bit more than he would have been otherwise prone to.
Very beefy front line here as well. This is a team that's going to benefit a lot from the speed-ups of Karma, and I'll be interested to see if Sivir is actually going to get left up here, because I think that Sivir, along with the Olaf, along with some of these other champions, it does synergize pretty well.
Now, I wonder whether this is a little bit of not an ego play by Uzi here, saying, well, I'll just pick a lane counter against the Sivir. We already have the Nami. If we can just put you right on the back foot in the laning phase with something like a Caitlyn and never let them fight. Perhaps RNG are looking to close this early, but obviously it is a harbor. We may see them change away from that Caitlyn.
Yeah, they have actually switched away to the Ezreal. Uzi, I wanted to talk about his Caitlyn because it's terrifying. Hopefully he's going to pick it again some other time in this tournament. Mata is going to pick up Kennen for Looper on the top side of the map there as well, so a lot of AoE damage coming out of this team. I mean, Uzi, not necessarily on the hyper carry, because Ezreal, known for his mid-game power spike, but with these two big magic damage dealers, is going to be augmented well by that AD carry.
And not only that, now this Kennen into the Gnar in the top lane gives them a favorable matchup up there. Ezreal and Nami very difficult to deal with in the bottom lane as well. So it could be a little difficult for Splyce here as this game starts up.
Yeah, the lanes could definitely be very tough, but if you're talking about about team fighting, I do think that Splyce has quite a frightening composition here with double speed ups from the bot lane, the Sivir, the Karma. You have the Olaf charging in, as well as people like Cassiopeia, who's going to be taking the Ghost and can keep up there too. But counter engage very heavily in favor here for RNG, who has the Kennen. If you dive in, Kennen can just jump right back past you into your back line, along with the Nami wave and things like this. So this is a comp that is going to be looking more to disengage and probably counter engage from RNG.
Exactly. It makes it very difficult to actually engage on RNG. As you talked about in Splyce, they may have a little trouble without good teleport flanks coming out for themselves, but that is one thing that RNG succeeded so well with yesterday. If they can do the same again, RNG look to be very favored.
Yeah, they most certainly do. And the thing I want to take note of initially here is the fact that we're seeing mlxg on that early ganking jungler, but let us know which squad you think is going to walk away with this one. Tweet at LOL eSports with the hashtag RNG if you think China's second seed will take it away, or use the hashtag SPYWin if you're backing up the team from Europe.
Well, I certainly are. We didn't have the best, performance yesterday, but it's a tough one again.
We weren't going to mention the elephant in the room. It's going to be fine.
At this point, it's a pretty big elephant for Europe, and it fell flat on its face yesterday. We'll see if we can regroup with a little bit today, but nevertheless, as we head into the game, RNG taking on Splyce. It's going to be a great game.
Most certainly will. RNG will be starting off on our blue side here the first time that these teams meet. Splyce on the red. And we'll see whether mlxg is going to be able to make it happen. We can hear already San Francisco getting behind RNG.
A massive amount of support here for the Chinese squad. Very, very exciting for them, I'm sure.
And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, we go over, check out the Fog of War stream for this one. Should be very exciting. Quite scary as well, I could see, as we are going to have a slight pause. Sepia mode has been activated.
It's not quite the stream we were talking about as the horror film stream, which I think perhaps is coming in the second round of games, or well, what should have been.
Yeah.
But maybe this is it. We were talking about, EDG, INTC, but yesterday, man.
That would have been the other way around.
Exactly. It would have been the opposite. So perhaps this time that Fog of War stream may very well give you exactly what you're looking for if you're a fan of, some horror movies. But if Splyce can fire back, maybe it won't be quite so one-sided.
Yeah, so Sencux just was not able to see his health bar there, so we are going to have him relog, hopefully be able to get that fixed up right away, and hopefully it won't be too much of a delay. But as we do get into this, it is going to be a pretty tough matchup for Splyce, even stylistically, simply because this is a team that traditionally has had slow starts. They're a team that is like kind of play it slowly. Sometimes they're a little bit behind in their lanes, but they're strong in the 1-3-1. And RNG is a team that likes to be lane dominant. They pick winning lanes. They're incredibly talented players individually, mechanically very gifted, and they're a team that's going to push the pace.
Yeah. RNG love to skirmish early as well. That's one of the key things we've seen a lot over in the LPL. Like the ability to fight with this, immense amount of gold that goes over to Uzi as well. It's just so difficult to deal with. And for a team like Splyce, as you said, they're slow off the blocks, Azael. They don't like to fight early on. They don't like them to get themselves into the mix until they can spread out across all three lanes and TP in behind you. Very difficult to do.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about RNG's composition this time around is that it facilitates that. They have the early skirmishing jungler in the Lee Sin. As we hop back onto Summoner's Rift, Sencux not going to get hit by the Sonic Wave.
Interesting kind of level 1 shenanigans going on here in the bot lane as both people were actually kind of trying to ward each other out. It looked like RNG wanted to get a bit of a bush camp on there, try to do a little cheesy level 1, but it was warded out here by Mikyx, so nice anticipation of that move.
We've seen a couple of different level 1s from the bot lanes, from the junglers, the CLG doing that tricky one up in the top lane.
They're still going to go for it, looks like.
Krugs, yeah, exactly. As you're saying, they're still looking to go for that play, but right now, RNG still waiting. This is a bottom lane that two big names to be feared that perhaps, didn't always post the results. Everybody always said, oh, maybe this and that about RNG.
Building synergy.
Exactly.
Building synergy, of course. We have heard talk about that improving. We'll see whether they're going to prove it because Mako and Deft tried this particular lane combo. They did fantastically well in lane, but INTZ proved to be too much. We'll see whether the redemption is going to come out here. There's already some shots being fired. Mikyx down very low.
Yeah, they have to be extra careful because Mata's actually playing Ignite, so he's going very heavily aggressive for this lane. RNG wants to dominate here in the early game, and they're off to a good start.
Yeah, he's playing so far up in this lane. Ebb and Flow doing some work, doesn't get the coveted double bounce.
It's the dream.
Oh, it is. Feels so good, Azael.
It does. We'll see if he can even get, all of that connected in the lane. Oh, Sencux taking a lot of damage in the mid lane as well. I want to touch on that Ignite because, throughout time, we've seen the kind of downfall of Ignite unless you're in a kill lane. Because unless you can actually get those kills in the lane, it's very kind of almost a useless summoner ability unless you're against a Vlad. Whereas we've seen these 2v2 lanes going in the favor of, AD carries and supports, the likes of Uzi. There we see the trading coming out from RNG. Always bottom lane, trying to just get as much damage out as they can.
I apologize. We found the double bounce, and it felt very good. But you can see Uzi couldn't quite get the Tidecaller's Blessing buff working for him. Mata's still playing so far up this lane.
Yeah, and
pressure.
He's feeling a little bit of that pressure to get something done with that Ignite, which is going to be outscaled by the exhaust. And we have mlxg now hanging around here on the bot side. Will back off.
I've seen him do this a lot as well. Does like to spend some time.
He's in trouble.
He's been ignited. The auto attacks are there, but he does create the range. Kobbe taking a lot as well as the spell shield doesn't do anything. Mata very low at the same time. In fact, everyone missing their health bars.
Solid trade out of RNG. 2 summoners out from Splyce in exchange for that Ignite. And of course, the sustain is going to come out from Mata, but Trashy wants to try and punish top lane.
Yeah, Trashy is looking for top lane, and Looper is shoved up very far here. Could be in some trouble.
Oh, Wunder doesn't get the double hop. Looper lightning rushes his way out. Trashy not going to stick around.
Little bit of miscommunication perhaps out of the Splyce duo up on that top side. Trashy was still waiting. Bottom lane, spell shield used already. Fair amount of action down in that bottom lane, but look at the difference up in top. There was a big CS lead that was opened up by Looper. It's closed from Wunder now.
Mata has to be careful at this point. He has no more potions. He's actually very low here as well. This bot lane is getting very, very tight. There's a lot of low health bars here.
A heal bait right now. You can feel it. Mata knows there's a ward in there.
Knows there's a ward. Is the poke coming out, though? Kobbe doesn't quite connect with that first Q. Whew.
Very dangerous as Trashy looking for xiohu. Lands the undertow, actually. Xiaohu's over to the side. mlxg's going to turn out just in time. Trashy loses half of his health bar, but just trading blows for now.
Yeah, Trashy's just trying to help Sencux push this out. Sencux was getting low. They're feeling a little bit of danger. Sencux in trouble.
mlxg safeguards his way out. Sencux has to go back to base.
Doesn't quite have the damage this early on. Of course, only level 4, so gets into the lane. Gets the Ghost and the Flash from Splyce. Ghost from Trashy was used a little earlier there.
And Sencux is actually trying to hang around a little bit. He doesn't necessarily want to lose this full wave. You can see mlxg moving around the side, and this is a very tense early game here.
Yeah, another bounce. Uzi, he's getting low. Blood for Uzi! As Kobbe's taking damage as well. No Mystic shot, but that was huge.
This is Uzi and Mata straight
They're not done yet.
Kobbe, he's got to be careful. He's so low.
mlxg's just going to walk at him. There's the flashlight. A good spell shield from Kobbe. Saves his life.
Saves his life, but RNG a crippling Splyce in the bottom lane right now. Look at that CS advantage.
Yeah, the CS plus the first blood, the gold lead is astronomical, and here it is again. Uzi sees the opportunity, goes for it, no hesitation at all. And Mikyx, not respecting that Tidecaller's blessing damage there,
that was
able to take him down.
last second from Mata as well. Just came off cooldown and got it while that was in the air.
Oh, looking rough for Splyce already, and with summoners down on Kobbe here too, it's something where they can look to repeat gank.
They can look to go down for another set of kills down there. And of course, at this point, you're looking at RNG with a bot lane that is difficult to deal with, but theoretically, Ezreal should be, waiting a little bit on that tier, should be perhaps behind the curve when it comes to damage. With that first blood, massive CS advantage. This Sivir is going to take a long time to get into this game, if Kobbe can, before RNG look to really put the pressure down.
Yeah, they've got a big wave to clean up here. Goes back, grabs the tier, as well as the Cull and a longsword. So theoretically, as far as battle stats are concerned here towards the bottom side of the map, will still go in favor of Kobbe for raw damage.
It certainly will, but if you look across the map, it's hard to find the bright point for Splyce right now. They're losing CS in the top lane. They're losing very heavily in the mid lane, 49 to 34 there. Down about 10 in the top lane, down 16 in the bot lane. Across the board, they are falling dangerously behind.
I found it, Azael. I'm going to go for any win to win. Jungle CS.
There you go.
Nailed
it.
There you go.
You got those lucidity boots as well.
Europe's winning at something, I guess, at this point.
And the lucidity boots, I actually really like as a purchase, because with the Ghost, with the Insight, you're going to have such a low cooldown on that you can aggressively trade out your Ghost, hopefully to get a flash or a summoner from your opponents, and you're going to have that up much more often than they are.
You can see some farming here towards the bottom side. Uzi doesn't like that. He's going to get the Tide Calls blessing damage. Mikyx does at least tether him up for the moment. Uzi taking damage. Kobbe, no, not quite enough. Doesn't have the flash to follow up as Mata takes matters into his own hands. Ebb and Flow is going to keep Uzi topped up, but man, that was dangerous, and Splyce looking good. Trashy's here.
Trashy is here. They want to try to get something done. Uzi holding on to his heal that entire time, and Kobbe really smart to actually respect that. Had he gone forward, the heal would have come out. He probably would have given his life there, even though it looked really close.
You can see those Splyce are getting kind of almost baited into these fights time and time again in this bottom lane, and what it means is RNG. Ooh,
yeah, Chaos Storm in the mid lane. Ultimates traded as Sencux just petrifying gazes xiohu.
And this is xiohu basically saying, get out of my lane right now. I want to push this wave under the tower. I want to get damage down. You are not getting any of this farm or experience, and I'm going to move away.
Yeah, it's like, I have the money for my Hex Core. I want to go back and pick it up.
Exactly. He just wants to be able to dominate from that mid lane, push Sencux back as often as he can. Remember, Sencux still has no flash or ghost available, so he is a bit of a sitting duck if he ever tries to make a play.
And because there's summoners down there, there's summoners down in the bot lane, and mlxg is level 6, and RNG are camping this out. They're looking for some cheese.
There's the tidal wave. Mikyx taking a lot of damage, but there's the heal out. He's going to keep him alive for the moment, but Uzi just launches his way in. That's another kill. Trashy trying to get people out of his jungle, but he's not going to be able to. mlxg gets that one. xiohu now possibly in trouble, but in comes Looper, slicing Maelstrom. xiohu in trouble. Wunder, he can't do it. He can't get the last auto. Looper grabs the kill, and Sencux should clean this one up.
Sencux gets to. He knows mlxg is around. Can he actually find him? Looks like he won't be able to, but at least Splyce is able to pick something up on the back there.
Can't quite find for another kill, but at least picks up the one kill, as you were saying. This is what Sencux did a little yesterday that was working well for Splyce. The problem is this time he's down in lane at the same time, so it's not enough to recoup. And this jungle fight was all over the red buff. xiohu was first out of the lane here. He had the dominance, and that's where they go aggressive onto mlxg. Trashy, 1 versus 2 cannot do enough. Sure, Wunder makes it here first, but from that, RNG are able to output the damage to inevitably take him down, and Sencux thankfully is able to come up to the top side and clean this fight up.
Yeah, really good spacing as well from Splyce, making sure that Slicing Maelstrom wasn't hitting 2 members. Meant that Looper wasn't able to get too much work done with that ultimate, which could have been very important. Almost has his Proto Belt completed, as well as that double Doran's Blade, and that Hex Core that we were talking about has been upgraded for xiohu, so a little bit augmented is the wave clear for the Viktor.
Makes a big difference. Once you hit that threshold, it's very hard to keep that wave pushed out, even as the Cassiopeia. So this is going to give xiohu the advantage of being able to shove in first, roam around, help to do things like get vision in the river.
And that is one of the big weaknesses of Splyce when you look at how their early game kind of plays into a mid game, is if they can at least hold themselves fairly even, they can drag out a game, draw it out into the side lanes. This time, they don't have anything like a teleport coming from Sencux. They do obviously have Wunder for a side lane, but it's difficult for them to play the style that they had been famous for in summer.
Oh, there's a Chaos Storm though. Trashy takes half of his health out. Ragnarok going to keep him safe.
And you know, Trashy was one of the big proponents of this. On the Rex side, on the Gragas, he would be able to help his lanes, help the side lanes either disengaging or coming across as the Rex side to give them a little extra support with warding in the jungle. But on this Olaf, it's such a different role.
Yeah, he is having a tough time so far, but you know, looking to ways that Splyce can kind of get back into this, you have to think Wunder with his TP, having that TP advantage is something that he needs to look to do, but Splyce is really struggling to even get out from under their turret in the bot lane, so they're not really able to get these deep wards to allow him to try to go for a play like this. And not only is Uzi getting massively ahead in the farm, he has 2 kills, and he's working heavily on that bot lane turret.
Trashy's on a ward here.
He's going to get hit by the Sonic Wave as mlxg is going to follow up. Should be able to get it up, and there's the kick flash. Tidal Wave comes in. There's the knockup into the Aqua Prison. See you later, Trashy, and mlxg safeguards out.
Just beautiful play there from mlxg and Mata. Taking him off the Alistar. He's still making plays up at Nami. The kick flash into the Tidal Wave, into the bubble. Perfect CC chain. They knew that Trashy had no Ragnarok from that earlier play in mid lane, and RNG are just capitalizing on every single moment of weakness that Splyce shows.
Well, Azael, earlier you were asking what would have happened if we'd have seen mlxg on the Lee Sin. What would have been yesterday of his performance? And he's showing us a little bit today of what Svenska brought yesterday. But RNG in full control of this game. It's going to be a dragon going over to them as well here. And honestly, they've won pretty much every lane. They've won all the early skirmishes as well. There's not a lot stopping them from looking to turn to objectives in the form of towers next.
Yeah, mlxg, of course, able to solo that one out. No vision available for Splyce. And if we're going to have a look at that, I mean, the map is lit up with blue wards here for RNG. Yeah. They know exactly what's going on. Splyce seem to be reeling here at 12.5 minutes. It is only 3,000 gold. We'll see who's going to be able to pick it up here for the European team.
It is only 3,000 gold now, but as these turrets start to fall and RNG is moving here to the bot lane, they're looking to dive.
Oh, Mikyx, he just says, well, if someone's gonna die, it may as well just be one of us. And it should be the tower as well here for RNG.
It's looking way too clean for RNG up against, you know, the team that finished second in the European LCS for the summer split. RNG are looking like they're on another level right now, and honestly, that's a little painful to say, but they deserve it from this performance.
Speaking of painful, if you take a look at the gold differential in the bot lane, it's 2,300 gold ahead for Uzi
God.
at 13 minutes.
That's a 40 CS lead.
And he's got it all in the bag.
God,
he's not even
he's holding onto his gold lead and he's smacking people with it.
It's hard to see a world in which Uzi doesn't take over this game when his call hasn't even cashed out. He's 10 CS off that. He's already disgustingly ahead, and Trashy now in trouble once again.
Yeah, there's the slicing maelstrom from Lupa, catches up to him with the lightning rush. And in comes Mata as well. Trashy has to use the ult, gets himself out with the ghost helping him as well, and Wunder finally gets there to save his jungler.
Yeah, Trashy gets out, but honestly, he's on the other opponent's side of the map. When you're this far behind, it's so difficult to hold on to that territory. It's one of the things that we started seeing become a problem for TSM when they couldn't control a lot of the vision control against RNG. They ended up kind of in their own territory, getting TP'd on, getting engaged on, and that looks to be what RNG want to do again.
And now is when you have to play very, very scared in that situation as well, because Mata has been unlocked. That first tower did fall down on the bottom side of the map. 5,000 gold, the resulting lead. But it means now that this Nami could be anywhere.
Certainly can, and the tough part becomes you're already losing in farm, and now you're going to start losing control over both sides of your jungle. Oh, they're going to go aggressive on Sencux. What a nice little turn there from xiohu.
Beautiful. The Chaos Storm not going to quite do enough damage there to Sencux. Gets himself out. The Inspire helping there as well from the Karma.
And you can see that as soon as that turn comes about, Sencux instantly loses that trade because he has to back away from the Chaos Storm. There's no way he can stand and trade because the damage is just not going to be there for him. Ooh, they're just pushing them all the way back under this tower.
They're bullies.
It's only a matter of
bullies right now.
It's only a matter of time before mlxg comes behind the turret and they look to dive. If they bring Uzi across as well, that's the play that is going to crack open this middle lane for RNG.
Well, mlxg going to grab himself the Wolf Spirit. And there's a Gnar on the top side of the map. Lupa gets stunned. Big boulder to his face there as well. Should make it underneath the turret. Nice stun. Another boomerang's going to land. Wunder looking for the dive. Can't quite get it. The rest of RNG are available.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough, and Looper still has his ultimate up there. The flash available too would be too risky for Wunder, but if he could land a little bit more poke, we'll see. But RNG taking over this topside jungle. They're looking for the red buff.
Sencux is on the bottom side. No teleport from the mid laner. He's not running it this game, so RNG want to engage top side and look for further objective control, but they don't quite get the Nami ultimate to connect. And RNG, they're going to temper themselves a little.
Yeah, a bit wide on the tidal wave. This Brambleback has been made quite upset this game. They're once again, mlxg, leave him alone. Trashy is hanging around as well, does have his smite available. They do have a ward, but here's the pressure RNG have. He just doesn't even want to try.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do. He doesn't know where all these members are. Mata has not been seen on a ward in quite some time. Could just be 3 guys sitting in that bush, and he has to pay the respect over to RNG because they have been playing this out so well. Not only are they making solid aggressive plays, but they're tempering that aggression at times where it would be too risky.
And at this point, what RNG are doing here is they're saying, okay, well, we recognize that one of the only real ways of Splyce perhaps getting into it is Wunder being able to join from across map, so they put their duo lane up to the top side. Look at it. Uzi's gone in!
Going 1v2. Mata's going to eventually turn up. mlxg's here! Lands the Q! Ragnarok's not enough, and Uzi grabs the kill. mlxg tanking the turret. Lupa has found his way in. Olaf goes wide. Wunder, he's a bit tanky, but mlxg still going to get the the kill. That juggle was beautiful.
Just making it look so easy. Looper doesn't even bother using the ultimate. They're going to hold on to their major cooldown because they are not going to stop. They are going to continue pushing, and they want more and more.
There was no way for Splyce to react to that play. It was exactly what RNG wanted. Oh
dear.
Not again, dude.
We praised him for having a good Cassiopeia game. xiohu is just in his mind right now. The turns, the little jukes in this mid lane matchup is really hurting.
Yeah, maybe keep the yelling at RNG in the comms instead of a little bit too far away from xiohu.
But that whole play, RNG just punishing Splyce. They don't have TP from their mid lane. They're attacking the TP now, and there's no way. Look, Sivir's even recalling. They're pinging it on the map.
Everything is so well done. Uzi stops the recall. They're all moving up here. Mata and Uzi are so strong at this point. He's able to go aggressive into them.
And the whole thing is mlxg just went aggressive on to Kobbe in the jungle before coming top. Here's the TP out, but we're back into the action bot lane.
Yeah, in goes Lupa Protobelts there. Trashy is able to get himself relatively far away from this one, but Mata's blocking him. mlxg should be able to get this kill eventually. There's no flash, just kicks him in the face. And that is going to be the jungle dominance asserted.
Just brutal. 7,000 gold, the lead now for RNG as they are closing in on all sides, contesting every camp. There's no easy wins here for Splyce.
Well, then,
God, Uzi wants it.
Just walks in. Kobbe taking so much damage. Will they take down? Mikyx running. He's between turrets. mlxg is going to get underneath the outer turret, and Sencux not going to be able to do anything.
You can't run, you can't hide. Uzi's come.
So scary.
Uzi has arrived at Worlds.
Oh, Sencux gets two.
Yeah, nice stun on mlxg, but can he actually do anything? Uzi picks up another one. Mikyx down low. Wunder's trying to make something happen. Mata was taking the turret for a little bit too long. Uzi, a double kill. This guy's 6-0-2. 50 CS up, and they'll take down the turret.
Make the gold lead 4,000 on Uzi alone over Kobbe. Just brutal, as Uzi is just, he is so strong. He's unkillable almost.
He's a man on a mission.
If Uzi continues at this pace, he's going to double the gold earned of Kobbe. Like, very quickly if he continues this pace. But RNG have got so much damage from this Lee Sin, the Ezreal, the Kennen, the Viktor. Everything is just instantly blowing up Splyce. And, you know, this was after Uzi had just walked in mid lane and killed Kobbe. That's about as good as an ult as Sencux is going to get, and they can't capitalize.
Yeah, Uzi with a nice little turn dodges it. Everyone seems to be able to have Sencux downloaded, but he is just so strong. Wunder going forward gets taken down so fast. This is a guy that is an item and a half ahead of his counterpart this early in the game.
Insane performance out by Uzi to be that far ahead, and as Baron is about to spawn in 15 seconds, what that means is RNG are going to play the game of get all of the vision control on the top side and then look to push Splyce back, maybe try and catch him out in the jungle, get a kill or two, take the Baron, and set their eyes on the base.
Yeah, and they'll grab Dragon number 2 here as well in the meantime. Ocean and Cloud now picked up. Bit of regen, bit of movement speed. Can't go wrong as now Wunder. He possibly could. Mystic Shot gets the slow with the Tycaller's Blessing. In goes the zoning tidal wave. There's the Aqua Prison. Beautiful play, but Wunder had nowhere to go.
Ignite for good measure by Mata. Uzi even sidesteps the wallop.
He's still got the extra 5 AD.
That's a long time ago.
I'm an old man, Stress.
Oh dear. Sencux is pretending to do his best Ryu impression of waiting halfway up a lane in a bush and hoping Lupa just walks forward into him. If Lupa reads this one from being in the bush, there's something going on.
I mean, at this point, this is basically all Splyce can hope for.
Yeah.
They need to get picks. They need to have odd number fights because there's just no chance to win in a straight-up even match right now.
And if we're going to have a look at the damage the items have caused as well, I mean, that was an outright Rylai's Crystal Scepter picked up by xiohu. You can see that's a Trinity Force. The Manamune already transformed into that Muramana and a BF sword now for Uzi. I really hope that we get to see his Duskblade of Drakthar Ezreal build. And it is a thing. This isn't just me getting excited about different items on Champion building them.
At this point, you can see it doesn't matter really what he builds next.
That's a
because
good
he's
point.
doing so much damage, even to Wunder, who, you know, has that air of tankiness about him with the Frozen Mallet and the Phage. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Mid lane, Mickey's dead.
See you, Mickey. That'd be a Chaos Storm. Don't want to eat that one, as now the tower's going to follow. Yep.
And RNG are just taking everything. They really can do whatever they want at this point. They're going topside. They're going to take another inner turret. It'll make it 6-0 at this point for those turrets over Splyce, and Splyce is just crumbling. It's hard to see a world where they come back in this one.
Fall back. They do hang out underneath their inhibitor turret. The inner is going to fall. xiohu grabs it with an afterthought auto attack. Some backs to come in. RNG still going to pad those items. And Marta going to get undertowed. See whether he tries to get revenge for that one.
A lot of people would look at just the compositions and say, well, Sivir, Cassiopeia, these are champions that should be able to team fight late. Unfortunately, RNG are just so incredibly far ahead on the items alone that realistically, it doesn't matter how good the scaling is, RNG are crisp on their plays, their movements around the map have been solid. Wunder's having to TP back to the fountain because he was in trouble.
mlxg was coming through his lane from basically his base.
And here is that kill on Mikyx once again. Walks a little bit too far forward, and like that. The second part of the E hits, the second tick of the ult hits, and that's all it takes.
He doesn't have a Lich Bane. I mean, he just popped.
Half health from that tick. I mean, he's 5 levels up now on Mikyx when you look at it.
Level 9
it is to be expected when that happens. I mean, even Marta has 2 levels up on Mikyx. He's the same level as Kobbe. This is fairly unheard of when you look at a regular game.
This is also a 13,000 gold lead at 23 minutes into this game. We were talking about the most decisive victories that we've seen so far. We've seen some of them today, and this is certainly up there with them.
I actually really like the Bloodthirster buy here for Uzi because it just gives him a little bit more survivability, right?
Yeah.
You get that HP shield, you have a really high lifesteal, and it's going to allow him to play even more aggressively with the support of his team. Oh, he can.
Now he can. You're going to see it. Doesn't even care about the Iceborne we saw in the last game. The Trinity Force get that extra damage, get everything going. And RNG, you know, they haven't turned their focus on the Baron yet. They want to just fight constantly by the looks of things.
Well, these auto attacks are doing a lot of work from the 3-item Uzi. Wunder, that was just one that he took as the theoretical tank, but he doesn't have tank items. He's only got a bit of health.
Yeah, and RNG is just running them around now straight onto the inhibitor turret. It's going down 24 minutes into the game. They crack the base.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
MLXG!
In he goes, kicks Sencux back into his base. Okay, we'll have a bit of a disengage for now as Uzi dodges out of the way of the ultimate. Sencux couldn't find it, has to flash out of the tidal wave. True Shot Barrage is going to go wide. xiohu playing so far up, and that's going to secure the inhibitor.
RNG just pushed Splyce all the way back, and with 5 members still alive, RNG pushed Splyce inhibitor down at 24 minutes in this game. They're looking for mid
getting
now.
corralled at the moment.
Yeah, top lane is shoving in here for RNG, mid lane shoving in, bot lane shoving in. They have complete control of the map, and they are looking to end this game out very soon.
I haven't seen Uzi use an arcane shift not forward at all this entire game. He hasn't had to. This is going to be another inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Inhibitor to follow. There's on the hunt. Splyce. They want to try and make something happen. In goes Looper. Trashy gets into the backline, but he just doesn't have any damage. Uzi is tearing apart this team, and Kobbe can't do anything. Another arcane shift. Pop goes the support. Out of the way of the wallop. That's the triple. That's the front kill for Uzi, and they'll just finish the game. What a beast!
Who else but Uzi to finish it off? Doubling his opponent's gold in this game. Complete dominance for RNG. They are 2-0 in the 2016 World Championship.
Utterly incredible. 10-0-4 for Uzi. He uses all of his mana to take down the Nexus, and RNG go 2-0.
That was one hell of a performance out by RNG. A lot of it can come from the draft in the way that we look at the lanes that RNG set up for themselves, but then it's execution. And what sublime execution from that bottom
has
lane.
2 meanings in that sentence as well.
Exactly. Uzi and Mata in that bottom lane, straight up dumpstered Kobbe and Mikyx in the laning phase, just consistently trading on them. Such a big lead from that.
This has got to be the most dominating AD carry performance I think I've ever seen in a single game. This was just outstanding from Uzi and the entire RNG squad. And now 2-0 atop their group, already took down TSM, looked great doing it yesterday, looking extremely dominant here today, not missing a beat so far.
Just unbelievable play. And Uzi, he's not necessarily been known for Ezreal play throughout his career. It was things like Lucian, things like Caitlyn that were really what you saw him shine on. But that Ezreal was next level. And there are so many incredible Ezreal players here at this tournament alone.
You know, we spoke about the strength of the AD carries. That exactly is why we put Uzi on that list every single time. For Splyce on the other side, a little disappointing when you look at that they would never have got to the point where their strengths actually shone through as a team. They're still a very young team when you look at it. And honestly, you can see a couple of moves, especially yesterday in their games against Samsung. But it was just not enough to hold up against RNG.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is, we talked about it, it's a stylistic mismatch. RNG, so talented individually, so aggressive as a team, and Splyce, with a traditionally weak early game, just could not stand up whatsoever. RNG took full command of this game and never let it go.
And it was completely different to their game against TSM as well. I mean, they played measured in the early game. They had the Hecarim, they wanted to scale. This game, they picked the Lee Sin, and it was go, go, go. All they were doing, they were testing every single limit in the early game. As soon as they found one weakness, felt like it was all over.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. But for more on that win, let's head down to the analyst desk.
Thank you very